Today in the crypto space, we see the market showing a lot of indecision. Bitcoin right around $106,000, up approximately 1%. Ethereum right around the $2,500 mark, down approximately 1%. While the rest of the crypto space, the altcoins are a mix of green and red. No decision making at the current moment because we're waiting on Bitcoin to make some critical moves. Are we moving to the upside to get to higher levels? Are we going to take a dip so we can buy and accumulate on the cheap? In today's video, I want to talk about the general market. I want to use Bitcoin as a leading indicator, but more importantly, guys, I want to go back to PYTH. What is going on with PYTH? A lot of people are worried. So you know what? Let's talk about the news. Let's analyze the charts and let's strategize to capitalize. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike. Let's get right into it, guys. If you're new to the channel, welcome. On the channel, we talk about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the altcoins. Looking for opportunity, whether we go up or down, bearish or bullish, it doesn't matter. All we want to do is stay one step ahead of the market so that we can capitalize on any of the volatility. And if you appreciate the strategy, subscribe to the channel, click the bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, including the live streams at 8 p.m. EST, where we talk about crypto news and price action. Guys, if you have any projects you want me to cover here on the channel, feel free to let me know in the comment section below. You can hit me up on the socials. The links are in the description. Better yet, guys, join the Discord. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. The best part is it's absolutely free. All right, guys, let's begin. Let's take a look at the top 100 first. We'll scrape through the market, get a sense of what has been happening today. Then we'll take a look at Bitcoin as a leading indicator. What is Bitcoin telling us? Could we move up? Could we come down? And of course, Bitcoin is showing tons of volatility without volume, which is crazy madman price action. And then finally, we'll take a look at PYTH. What is going on with PYTH? It did get a massive unlock. 20% of its circulating supply has now been unlocked and unleashed to this market. Now, has it been priced in? Do we expect lower levels? And of course, we'll talk about that in a second. All right, guys, so let's begin. Let's see what's going on here with the total market cap. You can see we're going sideways. Nothing really major happening here. Right around $3.4 trillion. Now it's down approximately 1.6%. Later on, it could be a little bit higher. Who knows what happens here in this sideways, very volatile market. However, guys, what we can see is that as we were moving up, we were getting a bit of price action. As we are coming down and maybe now getting another response to the upside, we're seeing trading volume kind of dip. Not a good look. We don't want trading volume to fall. If we want a continuation to the upside, we need trading volume to show strength even to the upside and more so to the upside, given the fact that we need that strength to break resistance. If we do see downwards trending price action like we see here at the tail end with a decrease in volume, you know, it also shows us there's not a lot of people looking for sell pressure, right? So there's a bit of mixed emotions here, a big mix of signals as we do see the bears and the bulls right now battling it out. Nothing really major happening in the last, I would say, 4 or 5 days. But the reality is we need to have something happen soon. Generally speaking, when the market doesn't move, we have to ask ourselves, why? Why are we stuck? And the reason primarily is that there's not enough demand for supply. And if the reality is when we do get enough demand, that is when we start breaking previous highs and getting into another upwards, impulse. However, guys, if we do not get the demand, how can we actually get the demand? How can we get the market interested once again? Well, guess what, guys? Put it on sale. Put it on sale, come down to lower levels, come to our targets, come to our areas. We will buy the dip and push the price higher. And that's what we need here, guys. Ultimately, Bitcoin is doing great. It's hovering right around all-time highs. But to break all-time highs, the real question is, how much volume do we really need? And that's the reality is that we might need a lot, given the fact that the psychological level of tops usually is a level of where people don't want to take risk, number one. Number two, maybe shorts because of risk to reward, number two. Number three, maybe individuals taking profits, given the fact that Bitcoin did run up from its bottom quite hard, all the way to all-time highs pretty much. So we can't expect, a massive move to the upside without a bit of consolidation, an exchange of hands at this level. And this is what we're kind of seeing the market react. When Bitcoin is volatile, especially when there's uncertainty, it's acting like a madman in the last little while. Wicks everywhere, wicks to the upside, wicks to the downside. Do you expect the market to take risk on altcoins? In fact, we are actually seeing that people are selling off on their altcoins as we speak because I can anticipate that they're fearful based on the uncertainty that they're getting from Bitcoin. Bitcoin is not behaving in a very rational way. Right now it's very unhinged, which means that it could be quite risky to hold altcoins in this scenario. So I can see that the market is kind of reacting to Bitcoin's craziness, and it's absolutely normal. Bitcoin right now is up 1%, and you can blink and it could be down 1% or 2%, and this is what we've been seeing for the last little while. So it's not an ideal trading moment here, guys, and of course it's in hard mode. And over the weekend, a lot of people got wrecked. The longs and shorts got wrecked throughout the weekend. And it's a very difficult time right now. So be careful out there. Don't give your gains back to the market, because we did see Bitcoin run. Now, the bigger question is, does Bitcoin come down to buy so we can buy the dip? And obviously, nobody in this market can tell you any degree of certainty, like basically tell you what's going to happen in the future. Nobody knows. But what you can do is prepare for the possibility. And the only way you can prepare for that possibility is to ensure you have at least 10% of stables ready to go to deploy if that happens. And that is exactly what I'm doing. I am pretending that ultimately we are moving to the upside. Ultimately, we are mentally, psychologically. We will eventually move up. But the question is when. How many dips do we have to have in order for that to happen? How many more bullish bids do we need at lower levels in order to get the strength to break out of resistance? And that is the bigger question, guys. So be prepared for dips, accept the dips, anticipate the dips, welcome the dips, take advantage of them. Right? That's all you could really do in this case. If we don't get it, all good. Our bags are packed. And if they're not, what I would really be doing here, guys, is DCing. Even now, like just in case, you never know, right? Probability. Again, this is a game of probability. No certainties whatsoever. Just understand this crypto space is very, very risky. And none of what I'm saying here is obviously financial advice. But I can tell you this. Risk management is key. Okay, be careful with your portfolio. Let's continue going down here. We see Bitcoin going sideways, not doing much, and the rest of the market is pretty much doing the same thing, guys. What a boring, very boring market. As you can see, even Litecoin coming down approximately 5%. And as we keep on going down, you see nothing really. Aave up 8% based on the Genius stablecoin law that's coming out, or regulation that's coming out. That definitely could be really a good catalyst for the stablecoin narrative. I've been scaling into the stablecoin narrative regardless of what that is about. I think the stablecoin narrative needs to exist and needs to show strength, because the reality is that our markets rely on stability as well. We need volatility, but we also need stability, because stability gives us certainty, and we need moments that we need certainty, and which project is going to give us that, right? And it's USDT, USDC, maybe we now Athena, and we got many others that are into the stablecoin narrative, CRV, and so on and so forth. So keep it in mind, guys. Diversifying within that stablecoin narrative could be very lucrative as we get into the next phase of crypto, next cycles, and so on and so forth. What else do we got here? Look, sideways everywhere. Few pumps here and there. Mantle going sideways. I like that price action there on Mantle. Flatline on like a floor price there. No supply or demand. That's a very nice level to see. But you can see all of this, guys. All of this. Even if curve is up 5%, who cares? The reality is we didn't break any structures. We didn't change any directions. Nothing really happened here, guys. So don't FOMO into anything. What I'm saying right now is calm, level-headed. TA, calm, level-headed, price action, calm, level-headed, DCAing is probably your best bet, especially as, we have the possibility of definitely tearing it up and moving to the upside, but as well being able to buy the dips. All right, guys? I know you're here to talk about price action, so let's begin. Let's see what's going on here with Bitcoin, and then we'll jump right into the PYTH chart, because today's video is on PYTH. I never really do cover a project back-to-back like this, but I think it's necessary. I'm getting a lot of feedback on the socials regarding PYTH and the uncertainty that PYTH has brought to the table, but we'll talk about that in a little bit more detail in a second. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. At the end of the day, Bitcoin, guys, is playing games, has been playing games. And I understand that, guys. It played games similar in the past. And you remember what happened. We exploded. And people are going to start looking at previous consolidations and expecting continuations. And to be honest, it's fair. Definitely fair. If you just look at what happened here from this bottom all the way to the top, you do see consolidation after consolidation after consolidation, definitely breaking out bullish. Now it's 3 waves to the upside, as you can see, more or less. Guys, this is time where you can start speculating on whether this is a 5-wave structure to the upside upside or it's going to be a three wave. Now, I understand the issue is that if it becomes a three wave, it's a corrective move, and then how far do we come down? It doesn't look corrective to me. This looks impulsive, and I expect five waves. The question is, and the worry is, could we get even a dip where we come down a little bit before we come up and continue going up? 100% possible. And the only reason why I say this is possible is because of the price action looking left. Guys, we're pretty much at all-time highs. Okay, excluding the wicks, we're at all-time highs. This is the biggest psychological level of resistance that you could ever have. And in fact, we're going to see a lot of people potentially opening shorts, and that would be a big thesis for a short squeeze. And again, if we get those shorts squeezed, we're going to see massive moves to the upside. Now, do we anticipate that? Yes. Should we be prepared for that? 100%. Should we also anticipate that maybe we come down for a dip? Of course, guys. If you call yourself a trader, and you want to do well in this market, you're not buying tops. You're not buying tops consistently. Now, you could buy a little bit right now to satisfy the FOMO, of course. Everybody kind of looks at structures and says, what about if we do move? What about if we do break out here? Maybe I'll buy a bit. Guys, of course, but you're putting yourself at risk, right? That's risky because you don't know what's going to happen. It's not like you're buying bottoms. Where are you going to put your stop loss, right? On this structure, you don't know where you're going to come down to. And a stop loss maybe down here, the 101,000 psychological level at about 100. Why not? We can definitely come down here. What about this volume gap? We can sweep right through all of this and hit the bottom of the volume gap, maybe at about $98,000. Why not? Could that happen? For sure. Possibility, guys. So like I mentioned, it's a game of probability. And for me personally as a trader, at this level, I want to make sure I'm going to capitalize on that opportunity if it does happen. And now if it doesn't, guys, you guys know, the bags have to be packed here. The majority of your capital should be deployed. Yeah, you're going to have a bit of stable coins to take advantage of opportunities along the way. But if they don't happen, are you going to be upset about it? And that's the biggest issue, is when we start breaking into price discovery, it's kind of late, guys. Especially even now, it's kind of late, to be honest. You should have been buying Bitcoin down here and down here as we were climbing to the upside. As I was telling you guys, we're changing trend and momentum. Momentum is showing bullish, and we got this little consolidation, and we got everything that we needed here to go bullish. And then all of a sudden, we break structure, change a character, moving, breaking BOS, and then keep on going. Now, all of a sudden, you're going to get into a fresh long now. Now, okay, of course, you might do that, and it might work out. You might get into price discovery, but the reality is it's very risky. So what do we do now? Again, have some cash on the side just in case we dip. Buy a little bit here, buy a little bit here if it happens. If it doesn't, guys, altcoins are still your better bet, given the risk to reward ratio. If you look at the altcoin market, including Ethereum, and again, all the altcoins, they're at the bottom of the range. A lot of them haven't even left bear market bottom. We're still early. Now, I know saying, altcoin season right now is quite taboo. Nowadays, it's, frowned upon from many. But the reality is it's still a thing. Okay, guys, and it could still happen, and it always does, and always did. Let's put it that way. Why does this time have to be different, where we don't see altcoins fly and melt faces, right? And then we start worrying about our individual projects. Oh, this project is not doing well. It's garbage. This project, it's a micro cap. It's not doing anything. We got a whole retracement on Supra today. Oh, it's a big deal. It's not a big deal, guys. We have to understand what we're doing in this market. We're speculating on the biggest pump of a cycle, which for altcoins, which is the altcoin season. You think it's going to come that easy? Trading is not easy, and taking risk at particular moments, especially on a downtrend, is not easy. Psychologically, of course, emotionally, not easy. So when are you going to buy? Up here or down here? Remember the sentiment when we were down here. Remember, roll back time. Go look at socials back at these levels. People were crying. Go look at people talking bad about Ethereum. And all of a sudden, Ethereum starts ripping it. Look at all the altcoins right now. People are saying altcoin season's not going to happen. Maybe it's canceled. Look at alts right now. They look like garbage. The reality is that most of us react when we are at a level where it's too late. Okay, so Bitcoin is almost at that level where it's a little bit too late with regards to risk to reward. Not to say that Bitcoin can't go to $1 billion. It can go to $1 million. I'm not saying it can't. I'm just saying that right now, probability-wise, it's likely to hit about 150, and then we'll see where we go from there. And based on where we are right now, risk to reward ratio is not in your favor. Okay, that's the truth. A dip, you buy the dip. and then you accumulate and you continue to the upside. Fine. Now, if we keep this in consideration, let's take a look at what's going on with momentum. It's overbought, guys. Are you going to buy it overbought conditions on the daily? I do realize that daily time frame overbought conditions last a little bit longer in bullish conditions. Fine, we can stay overbought a little longer than expected. Fine, that's very possible. The 4-day is trekking to overbought conditions again. Maybe we do get overbought on the 4-day. We have done it many times, many times, many times. Maybe we go overbought again. We didn't get a reset on momentum of oversold conditions for a good while. Is this the time where we double top and roll over? Could it be possible to come down to slightly lower levels before we continue to the upside? We start looking at this beautiful rounded bottom type of scenario here. What about if we flag out here all summer? Is that possible? 100% possible. We can flag out here all summer and then finally push to the upside coming August. Very possible, right? So these are all things that we have to consider. Even if we come down to the 0.5 fib, maybe eyeballing at 92,000. Is that possible? Still a confirmed higher low. That would be absolutely savage of an opportunity. Right into here, back testing this level, shoulder, head, shoulder, neckline, break. Buying bullish bids, picking up bullish bids at this level would be absolutely epic, right? All these are great opportunities. But what are you going to do about it if it happens, right? This is the reality. It's great. It's easier to come up with a thesis that we're going to break out and go to the moon. That's an easy thesis. Guys, look at that. Look where we are right now. It's like it could happen. But the harder thesis is preparing for the scenario where pain gets endured, where emotions, get to put in play. And it's down here, guys. Now, I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying this. Make sure you have cash on the side just in case. That's all. Raise capital, do your thing, whatever you got to do, because it could happen where we come down to, at minimum, I would say a healthy retracement, $97,000 if we don't break out here, guys. It's looking good. Now, from a bullish perspective, we break out. We move to the upside. We invalidate any bearish divergence. You can see there's bearish divergence here on this oscillator here. If you want to know more about the oscillator, guys, we got links in the description. Go check it out. And look at this, guys. Bearish divergence also defined right here. A bit of indecision, a bit of confusion, a bit of, look at this choppy. Look at the confusion here, guys. It's insane. This is so hard. And then you can see what's happening here. A few little red histogram bars. I got the little red dot suggesting confluence. But guys, we could get fake outs. We could get invalidations of all of this in bull runs. Bull runs are ruthless that way. Bearish divergences and bearish signals on oscillators get invalidated all the time. Think about it. Okay, guys? So that's that. Now let's jump right into PYTH because we're getting a layer of uncertainty also with PYTH. People not really keen on what's been happening. Now, PYTH got a massive unlock. And we've been talking about it on the Discord, on the live streams for the last week. And trust me, we're not the only ones, right? The market in general has been thinking and talking about this for a while. And I would say the majority of the move has already been priced in. This was most likely an exit pump. It's not even that big of a pump, but from the bottom to the top, it's pretty big, right? So it is 60%, no doubt. It doesn't look big, but when you measure it, it's a 60% bump. But from a market structure perspective, it's still within structure. It's not like it made crazy highs, like broke above here. That's the level that I would say, okay, wow, we're definitely doing good. We broke above the highs. That's awesome. That was definitely good. And guess what happened? Three wicks to the upside, sell pressure, all kinds, and then straight back down. What does that tell you? People were taking profit. This was an inducement for people to take profit on retail. It happens, guys. It's not just PYTH, it's a lot of projects out there, especially ones that have a lot of tokens to distribute. PYTH has bad tokenomics because it's new. A lot of new projects do, unless it's fair launch. We have to accept this. New projects that come out have tons of VC capital, have tons of involvement with early investors, have tons of airdrops to deal with and unlocks coming around the corner. You think PYTH this is exclusive to PYTH? No, next week there's going to be another project doing the same thing and dumping for the same reason. That's the truth. Now, I'm going to tell you this, with PYTH and many others, when we get an altcoin season, none of this matters. Not even unlocks matter. I've seen them. I've experienced them. Even an unlock, a massive unlock in a bull run, a little hiccup and it continues to the upside like crazy. And the reason why is because nobody cares. Nobody cares about unlocks during an altcoin season. All we think is up and up and up. And it's because demand is outperforming supply in a significant, unhealthy, and emotional way that everybody just piles in and everybody's just FOMOing in and buys and buys and buys. Now, is PYTH going to join that, mess? 100%. There's no doubt in my mind that PYTH will not join that crazy run once we see altcoins show their strength. The question is, in the short term, where do you buy and where do you expect support? Now, I'm going to tell you this, guys. This dip is ugly looking, 100%. But from an investor perspective or even a buyer perspective, because obviously investor, buyer, trader, that's a very vague, because a lot of people say that just because you buy here on spot and you hold and you hodl through means that you're an investor. I disagree. An investor is one that never sells. Let's say never, never, ever sells. It's a lifetime thing, I guess. But if you're going to buy now and expect to sell at the top of the bull run, and exit when there's a certain moment that we see capitulation or froth in this market based on overextension or too much retail or whatever the case it may be, maybe even Bitcoin hitting 150 might be your target. Reality is you're going to eventually sell, right? You're not going to hold PYTH multi-cycle. I wouldn't, right? Because the unlocks are going to be ruthless again. It's only that during that particular season where we see altcoins definitely fly, because again, the FOMO is real, that we see a lot of these altcoins not care, no rhyme or reason. All we do is pump. Now, I'm not trying to induce any FOMO here on PYTH, but I'm trying to make it real that these dips don't really matter. What matters is when are we going to start to see capital flow back into the space, and projects like PYTH, how much of that capital would it be able to attract? Okay, so this is where my expertise comes in, and I'll tell you this. Most L1s that I've been covering in the last little while integrate PYTH within their ecosystem. It's a fact. Now, Chainlink is very, very popular, and of course, that's the main oracle out there. But PYTH is up and coming, and especially that DeFi has become more prevalent than ever. Particularly, the DEX narrative with perpetuals, perp dexes have been very popular. Hyperliquid and Bluefin and all of these guys. It's going to be very hard not to be able to operate with a very fast oracle. You need a fast oracle that specializes in DeFi, and PYTH is the answer to that problem. Right? It offers the solution. So if we're going to see perpetual dexes flourish in this space, either Chainlink needs to speed up or specialize, because right now Chainlink is a jack of all trades oracle, and it's great at what it does, but it's almost not really a competitor for PYTH, because PYTH focuses on speed, focuses on DeFi, because DeFi requires speed for that data feed of prices. And we as traders, we need speed and data feed in order to trade properly on these dexes. So you got to ask yourself, if PYTH is integrated on all these L1s for that particular reason, will these tokens eventually get absorbed? Of course, it's inevitable. The question is, in the meantime, where do we land as far as price action goes? Guys, I'll tell you this. If it breaks below this bottom, it's not a good look. I understand that. And it's very clear. At least it's explainable. You know why the sell pressure is here. People got tokens and they're selling off, and that's it. The dilution of the token exists when that happens. And here we are. If we break below, again, 10 cents, 10.5 cents, it's not a good look for PYTH. But at the end of the day, risk to reward is at its best right now. This is where you want to buy the dip. This is where you should say, you know what? If I'm going to take risk, it's going to be soon, as close as possible to this invalidation, because if it breaks below this, I got to get out. And the reason why I'm saying this is because ultimately nothing really has changed even with this dip, right? Because we could potentially be making still a higher low right into this level. Although it broke the local low, that's fine. It came down for a higher low. Let's go up, back up, higher high, and we maintain the trend, right? Higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. Now this could definitely be a shakeout, and it's definitely explainable, like I mentioned. And if we do come down here, we can come down for a quick sweep, and then let's see if we backtest and bounce again back above, or we come up here and get rejected on this level right here, and then it's over. PYTH is done. Then I understand where you're coming from. But at this current moment, guys, the risk to reward is in your favor, because if you're buying here on spot, you know where to invalidate yourself. In fact, you could wait a little bit more and see how it reacts right into here. Buy a little bit and be done with it. If it falls below, get out. If it falls below, maybe look for the exit pump. get out. If it falls below and gets rejected, get out on the break of the previous low, right around here. That's where you got to look for it, because if it breaks below the previous low, now it's a continued downtrend, because you can see lower lows and lower highs. It's just that this was so beautiful because it looks like a change of character. In fact, it is a change of character, right? It's just that this right now is putting a wedge into the plan. The plan is to continue to the uptrend. And what plan did PYTH have? Well, an unlock was more important than price action in this case. So what we got to do here, guys, is keep emotions at bay, understand your fundamentals. Do you think this is a proper value proposition for accumulation? Market structure is in your favor still. We're still making higher highs and higher lows. The invalidation of the bullish thesis is even better now than it was before, because you know where to put your stop loss. And momentum is still an uptrend, because yes, we pulled back, but the reality is, look at the purple line, it's still coming from oversold conditions, slowly trekking to the upside, hasn't got really overbought just yet. Yes, the dip is explainable. We know why. But if we go back up, guys, we're going to definitely start bouncing and getting into higher levels. Now, the question is, does the market agree with what I'm saying? And again, I can't tell you, right? No one knows where we're going to go. We can get oversold in one go here. Definitely possible. Look at the trend oscillator right here. EMAs are facing down with red histogram bars, but you can't deny that this is still in an uptrend. Right? So short-term pullbacks, explainable pullbacks based on fundamentals, are easy to absorb because you understand what's happening. It's not like it's unnatural, like an exploit or something crazy. It's a scheduled unlock. Okay, so we have to understand that. And now, again, everything's looking okay. Now, if we quickly go into higher time frames, I want to get on the 4-day for a second. Let me get rid of some of this artwork here for you guys. If we go on the 4-day, for example, you can see that really nothing really has happened, right? We're still kind of in this range, and the range is very important. If you look at the 4-day, we got oversold, and you can see the expansion, this expansion moving up. Look at this, EMA is facing up, green histogram bars. I know the last little while has been a bit weird. I understand that we could still come down a little bit more. I understand that, but guess what, guys? We're oversold in a big way. So is the weekly. The weekly is looking for its opportunity. Right? Look what the weekly did. Look at the EMA cross right here. We're not in the bullish control zone, but we're working on it, right? This scenario that we just experienced based on the unlocked is explainable. Well, look at this bottom. Look what happened here. A lot of shakeout, a lot of craziness, a lot of wicks, a lot of volatility could happen right here, and then eventually we recover. So what you could do is, guys, just keep an eye on the volatility, keep an eye on the bottoms, the market structure. As long as we don't break below this yellow line, we're still safe. This white line right here, we're still safe. All right, guys, so if I've offered you any value in this video, do the channel a massive favor. Slap the like button. It does really help out with the algorithm. If you want to follow me on the socials, the links are in the description. Better yet, guys, join the Discord. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. The best part is it's absolutely free. Guys, tonight I'm going to be live at 8 p.m. EST talking about crypto news and price action. And if you have any projects you want me to cover, that is a great time and place to make those requests. Take care, guys. Have a good one. And don't forget, buy the dip.